Welcome to Motors TV and our coverage of the 8th and final round of the ADAC GT Masters from Hockenheim in the Rhine Valley, close to the ancient university city of Heidelberg. The German GT3 Championship arrives here on the German Grand Prix circuit with Callaway Corvette pairing Diego Alessi and Daniel Kielwitz at the top of the points table after 5 wins in the 14 races this season. They're just ahead of Porsche's Robert Renauer and the Mercedes duo Max's Gotts and Buch. But as we go into this weekend's 2 one-hour races, there are still 11 drivers and 5 teams representing Audi, Corvette, BMW, Mercedes and Porsche in contention for both driver and team championships. This is the 7th year the GT Masters has ended here since the series started in 2007, and its growing success is underlined by the 28-car field here this weekend, with just half a second covering the top 9 for race 1 and the top 16 for race 2 this weekend. Well, I'm Mark Cole. With me, Stuart Hall, fresh from his back-to-back World Endurance Championship Pro-Am wins for Aston Martin in Sao Paulo and in Austin. Stuart, first of all, congratulations. Secondly, great to have you back.
Thanks, Mark. It's great to be back in the booth, especially for what is going to be an absolute cracker of a weekend's racing in the ADCA Masters Championship. As you've just described, there's a number of guys that can go and win this championship. We've got 2 races to sort it out, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of action-packed racing to come.
Well, just for a spoiler, there on the left-hand side of your screen is a car that is not in the running for the championship. It's put on pole by Frank Keckler. That's the Lambda Performance Ford, which he's sharing with Dominic Schwager. They have 1 win at Spa. They're only 10th in the championship, outside of the running. So to a certain extent, people are saying, well, it's a good thing he's there for some of the drivers, because if he can win the race, he'll take points off the car next to him, which is the Polarized Mercedes of Max Gotts. He's starting that. He's the 2012 champion. He won here last year, remember, with Sebastian Ash. The only race they won the whole season was here at Hockenheim, the final race of the year, and that gave them the title.
It was, Mark. Once again in 2012, it came down to the final race weekend. And that time it was Maxi Gotts, so he's got a bit of experience coming into this race weekend of championship deciders. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that car and that team approach this first race. Yeah,
and congratulations, by the way, to his co-driver Max Buch, who won in the Blancpain Series Drivers' Championship last weekend. And he is the youngest driver in the series, still only 20, and one of those guys who everyone is tipping to be one of the hottest properties in sports car racing. Really, really impressive, having come up the ADAC ladder. Championship leaders car we just saw there on board with Diego Alessi. He's starting the Callaway competition Corvette, a little further back than normal. He's in 10th place, only carrying 20 kilos of weight, despite their 5 wins, 9 career wins for him and Daniel Kielwitz. And Diego came here last year with Daniel, everything to win, and they lost it.
They did. So, if anything, there's going to be more pressure on their shoulders this weekend, because they had a difficult weekend here in 2012, 2013. Another chance at winning this title, but there's still 2 races in front of them, and a big mountain to climb before they can do that.
So on board with Lone Wolf, as they call him, Robert Renauer. He is driving this car with factory Porsche driver Martin Ragginger, the Austrian, but he's been showing that car of different people, the Herbert Motorsport Porsche, and Robert got that win finally for Porsche. It took a long time this year, but that happened at the Lausitz ring. Well, here we are just getting heat into those tires. Run through the grid quickly. Keckler from Gotts on row 2. It's René Rast for Audi. 3 of those Prosperia Audis here racing this weekend. There is Renauer, a little bit further back next to Dominic Farnbacher. Christa Jons and Claudia Hergen for BMW, and then René Den-Boer for BMW, and Diego Alessi in the championship leading Corvette. Ash and Stoll and Ludwig and Jaeger, they're coming in as spoilers as well, jokers we'll say. The only race they're doing this year. A couple of other cars we can see in the pack. The Nissans, 2 JRM Nissans, Matt Bell and Jody Fannin starting those, Stuart.
Yep, JRM, another, as you say, one of the interlopers coming into the championship for the final round. Those guys have been very competitive in the Blancpain Endurance Series. So they've decided to come here and show their mettle in the final round of the ADCA Masters Championship. Although, in speaking to Peter Dumbrek, who shares the car with Matt Bell, they are struggling a little bit. That car is weighed up with 50 kilos of ballast that not normally have. So they're trying to get their head around that at the moment.
So big disappointment though for Ollie Gavin. He's racing here this weekend with the Serena United team. That's Thomas Enger's team based in Bavaria. Albert von Turnen Taxi should have started, but they had an engine failure during testing here on Wednesday, and they got a new unit that's been rebuilt over the last 2 days in Bavaria, in Munich, and that will be fitted for tomorrow. So they won't start this race today. We're coming then out of the Stuttgart for the last time, getting ready for the rolling start. 1 hour of racing ahead, compulsory pit stops. As we know, usual format, the pits will be open for 10 minutes. Driver change during that time. Coming under starters' orders then, the safety cars off, out of the Stuttgart, onto the start-finish line. And who's going to get the whole shot? The lights are still red. Take us through it, Stuart.
So the lights go green. It's a fairly even start, but I think Frank Heckler's got the jump on Maximilian Gotz as they go into the turn one, filing into turn one. Oh, there's a big shunt, big shunt back down the field. Can't quite work out who it is, Mark, right now. Yeah,
that looks like Beagle's car. That was a big accident, got pushed out to the side as we saw. Just double checking who that might have been.
I think it was
Gert Beisel.
So the cars file in and out of the parabolica, down onto the main straight.
We're going to get a red flag for this. Yeah, red flag's out already by the looks of it, and the field, of course, will be coming on. Yeah, red flag's out. So what's happened further around the track? That's a big impact with the pit wall. And of course, it's on the inside of the circuit, so it's basically on the racing line. And field all crawling around behind the Ford. Frank Heckler on board that. We understand there's been another accident as well. We haven't seen it yet, but 2 problems there.
And that is
that's good.
Getting out. Just looks a bit winded there.
Yeah,
it's a big impact. It's gonna certainly knock the wind out of your sails hitting the pit wall like that. But it's good news to see he's out and standing, even though he's clasped against the marshal.
Well, that was the RWT Corvette, and again that was just a one-off entry this weekend with Sven Bart, Gert starting, a 55-year-old gentleman driver. And that Corvette very badly damaged against the pit wall there. It looks like there was a collision. He got sort of spat out.
It does. It looks like there was he's either been tagged or something like that. He's tagged him and he's put him straight in the pit wall. At that point, the cars are going to be doing well over 100 miles an hour, filing down into turn one. So never a nice thing to see, but unfortunately, those are the hazards that come in racing.
Here we go. Here it is again. See if you can spot it, Stuart. Midway down the field,
all filing into turn one, and they just come together a little bit at the back. We can't exactly see, and it just clips somehow the Corvette, and he gets fired straight into the pit wall and then back across the circuit. I think it was the initial impact was the big one, and that's what's knocked the wind out of his sails. And then to make matters worse, there's a bit of a fire there as well. So we're going to see now. So the Audi's coming across. So the Audi comes across, knocks him straight into the Nissan, loses control, and then wallop.
Yeah, of course, under full acceleration at that moment, as is everyone else, just before they get into the braking zone. But we're getting reports to Rahel Frey has rolled her Prosperia Abt Audi at the Parabolica. I don't know if the cameras have picked it up, but that's why we've been red flagged. 2 incidents on the opening lap. And here we go again, just a higher view of that, right at the back of the field, and just a little bit of a jostling for position, but a big hit.
Only the slightest of touches from the Audi, but it just knocks the car into the JRM Nissan. JRM Nissan, a completely innocent party in that, in fairness, and it just unstabilizes the Corvette, and then
so
just straight into the pit wall.
Yeah, Jody Fainin on board that, the 2012 British GT4 champion, and just 20 years old as well, same age as Maxi Buch. So Daniel Kilvitz looking from the pit wall there, and again, not the picture we want to see. We are getting reports that Gert is being treated at the medical centre, complaining of rib pains. I'm not surprised at that. The belts themselves could do the damage, can't they, when you have that big an impact?
Well, you're buckled in so tight that any impact like that is going to stretch the belts a little bit, but all your organs are going to fly to the front of your rib cage in something like that, and if anything, he's going to have some form of cracked rib or internal bruising. Anybody would.
Oh, look at the debris going right over that fence on top of the pit boxes there. A very good illustration of why the teams are not allowed until across to the pit wall because of that, exactly that sort of danger.
And why they've got the catch fencing on top of the pit wall nowadays.
Yeah.
Because you saw there, it did its job. It caught the debris, or most of it. So we've got a red flag situation. As you can all see, it means no racing will be taking place. The cars are lined up on the grid. What they'll do is they'll take the Corvette away, they'll rebuild the tyre wall if it needs rebuilding, clear up any debris, fluids, etc. that's on the circuit. Then we'll be given a time, the race will restart. Oh, we're going to see, big accident for Rachel Frey as well, good grief.
Yeah, they missed out the first time round. Luckily she hands back on her wheels, but looks like she got knocked off sideways as well. That's in the Parabolica, which is a very, very fast left-hander, just keeps on going, and you're really loading the car up there, just accelerating hard, and that car very, very badly damaged. So that's one of Christian Abb's 3 cars entered here this weekend. And that is very, very bad for their championship hopes. Prosperia Abd Audi coming here, leading the team's points, and they're 1 car down already, and we're not even into the first lap of 2 one-hour races. Rahal apparently okay.
You can see it getting out the car there, which is a great sign.
There is Christian to the right of your picture, just being hidden by this larger gentleman. There he is in the cap with the headphones on. Christian obviously very concerned about the damage to his car. Well, we're jumping ahead now in time, and what's happened after 12.5 minutes to clear up. We are now going to restart the race with 40 minutes to go, so 40 minutes left, and restarting as a new start. There was no chance to change position on that opening lap for anyone, so makes no difference to the grid. Good crowd here, by the way, this weekend. 22,000 people enjoying the sunshine here in the Rhine Valley at Hockenheim, and let's hope we can get away. 2 cars down already as the safety car leads Frank Kechler, Max Gotts, Rennie Rast, David Jahn driving for Farnbacher in that blue Porsche. Then Robert Renard, Mario Farnbacher in the second of the Farnbacher Porsches, and Christa Jons for Abd Audi, and Claudia Hurtgen, who's still in the championship running for Team Schubert BMW. So Porsche's really well up here this weekend. Stuart, we got 3 Porsches in the top 6. It really does lend itself this circuit, doesn't it? They're quick in a straight line.
Certainly, Mark, the Porsche seems to be going very, very well, as does the Ford, as does the Mercedes, and of course the Audi. Certainly the ADCA have got the balance of performance fairly right for this weekend, because it's plenty of manufacturers up the front end of the grid and all fighting for that elusive championship.
Yeah. So Buch and Kielwitz, we just saw pictures of, just the 2 main contenders. They're right at the top of the tree at the moment. Everyone will be very much on edge now. A lot of people would have been aware of what happened on board with Diego Alesi. He's a lawyer from Perugia, so his day job is actually prosecuting people in criminal courts. So this is how he takes his weekends off. And his teammate Daniel Kielwitz, he works for a chassis manufacturer building race car chassis, and he's another driver who came up through the ADAC ladder, having done ADAC Formula. And just like we have in England, we have all our various stepping ladders, don't we? Stepping stones, first steps.
Yeah, and as we can see, the race is now underway. Yeah. What happened was they didn't restart the race fully. They just restarted the race behind the safety car. So as of now, the race is live. We're just in a safety car situation. So when the safety car lights are out, which hopefully they're going to do very, very soon, that race is going to restart. Everyone's going to restart in single file. So for Frank Kechler in the Lambarda Performance Ford GT40, that's a good sign, because that means he's not going to have anyone alongside him. He can control the pace himself and get the jump himself. So good news for him. The safety car, and looks like we're going to go racing very, very soon. Yeah,
around the Sachs curve for the last rolling lap. Hopefully the last rolling lap we're going to have today, then into the Soot curve, and then the cars will be released as the safety car peels off into the pits. So it's Kechler on edge from Gotts, from Rast, from Jahn, from Renard and Farnbacher. Just to make a point as we see the restart that Christina Nielsen down on row 8, she's leading the Gentleman's Championship. She might be a Danish lady, but she's a gentleman as far as this series is concerned, and she and Kuba Guillaumaziak hoping they're going to win the gentleman title this weekend. So a clean start this time through the Nord curve up that short sprint to the Parabolica entry, that tight right-hander, and then out onto the fastest part of the circuit, Parabolica, down to the Spitzkehrer hairpin.
Great start there by Keckler, judged it perfectly, got a good run through the opening first 2 corners, and has just pulled a small gap there on Maximilian Gotz, who is under pressure from René Rast at the moment. They're both starting to build a small gap there on David Jahn, but so far it's status quo for the first 4 out the front.
Yeah, Jahn very much the interloper here. He hasn't raced this year, so he's been put in by Farnbacher just to boost the Porsche entries this weekend. Had a great qualifying, as we saw. Put that car 4th on the grid. Everyone safely around the Spitzkehrer, which is always a great relief here at Hockenheim, into the Mercedes arena. In front of the massive grandstand, in fact we're on top of the massive grandstand looking down at that. Great overtaking point that, by the way. Then they come onto the drag strip, here it is, out of Mercedes into the mobile curb. That's a quarter-mile drag strip going down towards that ADAC sign, and there was drag racing here last weekend, so that should have rubbered the track up nicely for them.
In one part, yeah, on down the straight. We're on board now with championship leader Diego Alesi. He's got to get his foot down really, because his main protagonist in that championship is Maximilian Gotz. He's running P2, so as it stands, they're going to get a huge gain on Alesi and Kielwitz in the championship. We still have a long but as we know, it's a very competitive championship. It's very, very difficult to pass. So Alesi with a big job in his hand for the next 35 minutes. Yeah,
as we say, not carrying a huge amount of weight, just 20 kilos. He started in 10th and he's still in 10th at the end of the first lap. He needs to finish in the 4th place or better this afternoon if he's going to take the title today in Saturday's race. Another 1-hour race tomorrow, of course, so there's still another chance then if he can work his way up. On board with Robert Renau then, the man who is driving virtually in the championship points is solo, because his co-drivers are further back down in the points. And there is he's in between the 2 Farnbacher Porsches. Not anymore. He's put a nice move there on David Jahn and slipped through the down the inside into the Spitzkehrer. That's a textbook overtaking manoeuvre. Very strange that Jahn didn't even defend his position, but he must have called him napping. Mario Farnbacher is the team boss, so he said, "Move over, please. I'm coming through, else you won't have your drive next year." So Dominic Farnbacher, of course, racing in America. He's in the Viper program, which we saw at Le Mans, and really won the hearts and minds of a lot of people in the Le Mans 24 Hours this year. And Viper, of course, have already had a couple of wins now in the ALMS, and what chance for GT at Le Mans 24 Hours next year? I'm probably asking the wrong man here, who drives for Aston Martin.
We're just seeing a replay here of Robert Renau pulling a move there on David Jahn. Like I said, textbook overtaking manoeuvre, caught him napping, outbraked him down the inside, got the car stopped, got it turned in, got back on the power nice and early, so Jahn wasn't able to get the switch back, and I think that's moved him up into 4th or 5th position, Mark.
Yep, he's up into 4th now, position. And he's now setting about the 27 car. That's René Rast's Prosperia Abt car. There it is, 4th in your picture, with Mario right behind him, and Rast is still there. And then also coming up into the frame, the 28 car, that's Christer Jons in the 2nd of the 2 cars, the other one having been rolled out of the race at this corner there by Rahal Frey.
So Frank Keckler slowly but surely starting to build a lead on Maxi Gotz, who in turn is building a bit of a gap on René Rast. Those 3 cars, there's a bit of fresh air between them now, so don't expect any overtaking manoeuvres too soon. We might have to wait till the pit stops, which are fairly imminent, I would say.
Yeah, we just caught a nice shot of the Nissan, by the way. Matt Bell's car, that's the 24 car, JRM car, and Matt, younger brother of Rob Bell. I think probably most of you know that, and Matt is racing in the British GT Championship this year, having a one-off here at Hockenheim in the ADAC GT Masters, just to see what the GT3 opposition's like. And Matt will be trying to win that title with Mark Patterson this weekend at Donington Park, which is live, by the way, on Motors TV this weekend.
Yes, Mark. Matt Bell, Newcastle's finest, a great young talent, certainly making his way in GT racing. He's been drafted into that JRM squad for this season. I know it's a big opportunity for him, and he seemed to be grabbing it with both hands, and he's been driving very well recently Like I say, this weekend he'll be back in his normal day job with the United Autosports Audi, and he'll be trying to win the British GT Championship. So a fairly full programme for him in 2013.
Yeah, so Matt starting from 16th, and just looking at the lap chart, he's already moving up. He's where is the 24 car? That is now up. He's come up 3 places already, up into 14th. So good job there, just chipping away. Of course, both the cars that went off were behind them, so there was no advantage gained from that. So 31 minutes on the clock now. I'm not sure what time the pit window is going to open now. They've jiggled everything around, but when it does, there'll be that 10 minutes to get in and out.
I would hazard a guess it's about 5 minutes time. We haven't had any concrete information right now. We're sort of being kept in the dark, but it's going to be about sort of 40% race distance, so it's going to be in about 5 minutes time.
Welcome to the mushroom farm. Kept in the dark. And anyway, so we've lost Gert Beisel. The news is he has been taken to hospital and suspected cracked ribs and is expected to be kept in overnight. Rahel Fry has been checked in the medical centre and she is fine, shaken but not stirred. We've already had a retirement. We have lost the number 4 car. That is Michael Christensen in the Schutz BMW, Porsche rather, which is showing of Nick Armindo. Apparently they've had a gearbox problem in that car. Christensen became one of the Porsche's favoured drivers this year. He's 23 years old and driving that car. He comes from Karlslunde in Denmark. So there we are. There is Diego still trying to make up space on the Audi ahead of him. They've got a tall order there if they're going to get that car pulled right up into 4th place or better. Maybe just better to make sure you get a good 5th or 6th place finish today and then go for it tomorrow.
Well, you can't be too careful really, because there's not a huge amount of points in it, and as far as they're behind the Book Gotts car right now, 2 races like this and they're not going to win this championship. So Diego Alesi needs to get his skates on, and when Daniel Kilvitz gets in that car fairly soon, he needs to get his skates on too, because that Mercedes has been super fast all year. We know it's super fast around this circuit, as one of the Mercedes getting into the back of the Audi there, just at the Spitz curb, just giving him a little kiss as they go through the corner. Nothing ventured, nothing gained there. Just a little kiss to say I'm here and I'm not going to mess about.
So we're up to lap 5 now, and the order unchanged at the moment amongst the top 6 or 7 runners. Alesi gradually making his way up the order, started in 10th. He's really chipping away now at the back of that number 12 car. That is the DB Motorsport BMW. Runden Burr on board that car at the moment. They had a win at Zandvoort last year, and they have had another win this year, very late in the season. That was just last time out at the Slovakia ring. Really interesting new circuit near Bratislava, and the drivers all saying they really enjoyed racing there. So there is the predicted driver classification. If the race was to stop right now, Book and Gotts would win by 3 points from Alesi and Kilvitz. Robert Renard driving as a lone wolf, and Christopher Meiss in 4th place there. Christopher sharing his car with Rennie Rast. They're both on 128 points at the moment. They would move up to 143. So look at the lead now though, but Frank Kechter's building up. It's probably 2 or 3 seconds now, isn't it? And just absolutely faultless.
Issue with one of the Audis, Mark. One of the Audi of René Rast has slowed dramatically just coming out of the Parabolica curve, and is continuing to slow from 3rd position. Yeah, out of 3rd, which means that the number 8 car, that's Robert Renard, moves up into 3rd place. And he's radioed to the pits. Apparently he's got electronic problems. The car's now in get you home mode. An Audi break down?
Oh, never.
Goodness.
And so everyone moves up a place, of course. Farnbacher and Jan go up to 3rd and 4th, and 5th place now is... No, that's Mario Farnbacher in 5th. In fact, it's the 8 car of Robert Renard just ahead of them with 2 Farnbacher cars. 28 car moves up into 6th place, and that is Christa Jons. So Christian Ab, 2 cars down now, Stuart. This is not good. The team that came here leading the team's championship.
It's not good at all. And probably one of the strongest lineups in the field with that car. René Rast and Christopher Mize, that's a very, very potent lineup. And he won't be at all happy that that's got a problem, especially being an Audi as well. Yeah. You never see Audis break down.
This car, of course, the one we've just been on board with, René Rast, 60 kilos they're carrying, heaviest car in the race. René Rast, though, he's a former Porsche racer turned Audi driver now, fifth in the championship, 2 wins this year, Hockenheimring and at the Sachsenring. And René, who's from Frankfurt, not that far from here, really wants that title. He's also in the running.
So we must be getting near the pit window soon, Mark. We must be.
Yeah. Now who's got a problem here? This is
that's still Rast, isn't it?
Is it still Rast? Is he not? Is he continuing?
Yeah, maybe that's still. I think what's happening is it's an intermittent problem. So you can hear the engine note of the car. Suddenly it will cut out, and it will be rolling along like that. He'll wiggle it, or he'll go through a corner or something like that, and it will start to pick up again. Yeah. He'll be racing speed again for a few corners, and then it'll just die again.
Meanwhile, everyone goes past him, including one of the Nissans there. So Rast heading back for the pit surely this time. He's becoming a bit of a mobile chicane now. Christian's probably telling him to stay out as long as he can, but
I think it's I think you can safely say it's on its last legs now.
See the Playboy logos on the front there. Of course, Christian always had those on his DTM cars. Transferred it now over to his team, the Prosperia AB team. So we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back to see what happens in this race. 25 minutes in, and we think the pit stop window just about to open. Cole Stewart Hall bring you all the action from Hockenheim, the finale of the 2013 ADAC GT Masters. And we're looking at the moment at René Rast, a man who's having problems with that car. He's reported to the pits. It's electrical, but it's intermittent, as Stewart just told us before the break. As you can see, he picks up speed and then goes again, but surely he's going to have to call it time, Stewart.
Well, I'm sure Christian Ab will try and keep him out as long as possible, but there comes a time when it's, hang on a minute, even if we do poodle around, there we go, he's going to come into the pits now, because there does come a time when if you're going to drive around for driving's sake, 45 seconds a lap off the pace, the chance of getting points is more or less zero unless half the field take each other out in the next 25 minutes. So you may as well get it into the pits.
Well, luckily for him, the pit window's just opened.
Okay, so, true.
So he's not actually going to have to take another pit stop. And they might as well take, if they can fix it, if it is curable, they can do their driver change now and get back out. Bogey time, as always, 70 seconds from the time you come into the pit entry till the time you leave the pits. Must not be less than 70 seconds. If it is, you will get a drive-through, but they're having a drive-in, so I don't think they're even going to bother. And oh, that's really sad. I think Christopher Mize has been told that, hasn't he? He's taken his helmet off, and it's game over.
Yeah, when the car drives in the garage like that, there's no hope really of getting it out, especially in a race that's an hour long.
Yeah, a very disappointed Christopher Mize. Just throws his seat over and going to take his helmet off and sulk. Right, Frank Heckler, he's got now 5.4 seconds. That's this race really coming to the fore. This, of course, is the car that Keckler took to victory back in Spa, so a long time, round 2, way back in April. Here we are, in comes Alessi handling over to Kielwitz.
So he's the first in, so Kielwitz obviously the slightly quicker driver in that car. Alessi pits at the first moment he possibly can, gets in, sticks the slightly quicker, not much, the slightly quicker Kielwitz in, tries to get him out in some clean air where he can try and pump in some lap time. So when the cars that were in front of Alessi come into pit, Kielwitz may be able to pass them before they've come back out again, and that way try and get them some more points. But one thing that will benefit them is the Renault Rast Audi. That's another couple of points for them now. They'll have moved up from 10th to 9th, so it all helps. Points mean prizes.
So you watch that clock. They mustn't exit the pit lane before that clock gets to 1:10. Let's see how close they are to that. Here we go as they get to the carcass sign. 1:11.2, not too bad.
Reasonable time. It's always very difficult to judge in a circumstance like that, so you always want to give yourself at least a second or so of leeway. And personally, I think they judged that very well indeed.
Incidentally, in the pits, in the Corvette pits, Dr. Thomas Sedran, who is president of Chevrolet Europe, he's here in the hope they're going to win this weekend. And also coming all the way from California is Reeves Callaway, the man who gives his name to the Callaway Corvettes. He sold the racing rights some years ago to the Germans and to Ernest Vaux and Giovanni Ciccioni, and he's over here this weekend just to cheer those cars on. Still got the family name, of course. It's his father who invented the Callaway golf clubs, so a big family occasion this.
And the cars have been around almost since the inception of GT3 racing. It's like the Ford GT, it's one of the older cars on the grid, so the fact that the car is still hugely competitive and in the running for the championship is that another problem for an Audi?
Another Audi. Oh dear, they've got a boiling engine there by the look of it. Oh no, this is 3 abbed Audis. Are they retiring?
Well, it doesn't look good, does it, when you've got an overheating engine like that, fluid coming out of it? No, I shouldn't think that's going anywhere.
That V8 is well on the boil, isn't it? That's the 28 car then. So we've lost to 27, we've lost to 28. Christa Jons handling over to Marcus Winkelhock. And it looks like that race may well be over.
Not a great day for Christian Abt.
No.
Not a great day at all. It wouldn't be the day for him to play the lottery, that's for sure.
So it looks like we're going to lose another of our runners. We've already lost Gert Beisel, Rayal Frey, Michael Christensen, Rennie Rast, and now it looks like the 28 car is going out in a cloud of steam.
So is that the race leader coming in, Mark? Looks to me it is. I think that's Frank Kleckler coming down the pit lane in the Lambada.
Yes, indeed. This is
we've come on board with a Porsche now.
Lap 11.
That's the car I was talking about. That's the one.
Yep. That's the 14 car, which Keckler's handing over to.
Got another Audi in trouble. The number 16 Audi. That is Frank Schmickler and Philip Geipel in that car.
Yeah, that's a straightforward spin, isn't it, for the 16 car there. That car, of course, is run by the Bosciaco racing team, the people who ran the Camaro last year.
But this is the big news. The big news is the race leader's pitted. Frank Keckler's coming in. He's handing over to his teammate Dominic Schwager, and he'll exit the pits with approximately a 7 to 8 second lead, which, with 19 minutes left on the clock, is a wonderful cushion to have.
Yeah, so Robert Renau hands over to Austrian Porsche factory driver Martin Raginger. Martin, of course, tipped to America next year when Porsche enters a factory squad in the, no longer the ALMS, in the Tudor United Sports Car Championship, to give its rather unwieldy title. But Porsche, of course, LMP1 here in the World Endurance Championship next year, and their factory GT effort will be aimed at America. So still waiting for decision on whether they'll have a factory GT team in Le Mans type of racing over here. So there we go. Pit window still open then.
Second place car in. Second place car and championship contenders. Maxi Götz pits the number 10 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3.
And Mario Farnbacher coming in behind him as well, we just saw in the background. And in comes the number 1 car as well behind them. But this again is the one we want to be watching. So that's a good pit stop for the Ford. He got out 1:11.4, which compared with the 1:11.2 we saw for the Corvette.
So Maximilian Boots climbing aboard, the newly crowned Blancpain Endurance Series champion. Now that's a crown to have when you're 20 years old. That is a very tough championship. So he's climbing aboard. Maxi Götz shuts the door, runs back into the garage. We've got Frank Keckler coming through the last corner now. So this is where we're going to see. I shouldn't think they'll have done enough to take the lead. Well, I certainly shouldn't think they've done enough to take the lead, because Keckler's lead, sorry, Dominic Schwager coming round, but Keckler's lead was 7 seconds, wasn't it?
When they came in, that's right. And he's still at standstill as the Corvette goes down past them. 107, 108, 109, 110, 111. Oh, a little bit slow. No, 111.6. It's gone back again.
Be interesting to see where Raginger is, because that would be fairly close, although no, it's not. That's Raginger now.
Just coming in the background. Here we go. Yeah, so he's right just behind him. So the order as they rejoin at the moment, but not all the pit stops over yet, of course. We've still got a couple more people to come in. Where's the number 7 car? He's still out there. Who'll be handing over to Jörg Eberhardt in the other Farnbacher car. Just remember, though, that has nothing to do with the championship. That's a Joker car this weekend for Farnbacher.
So Maxi Buch settles in to the chase that is Dominic Schwager up front. Schwager's got about a 7-second lead in that Ford GT. To Maxi Buch, who's in second place, and a further 7 seconds behind him, I would say, is Martin Raginger. So the first 3 are fairly spread out at the moment, but as we know, at this stage of the race, tyre degradation comes in, reliability comes in, so anything can happen. If perhaps the Ford's slightly more difficult on tyres, then it's going to start dropping back at the end of this race, and any car that's lighter on tyres is going to be a lot quicker. So we've got a fairly exciting 16 minutes left. Nice shot there then. Peter Dumbreck, has he taken over that 24 car yet? Just checking the pit stops. Yes, he has. So Peter Dumbreck now, the one-time Japanese Formula 3 champion, DTM racer, Mercedes Le Mans racer. Peter's done nearly everything, hasn't he? He's possibly one of the most versatile sports car drivers on the planet. Was teammate of mine at Aston Martin Racing this year at Le Mans and at Spa. And is a long-time sort of the JRM Nissan squad, having done GT1 there as well. And the man from Kirkcaldy just turning 40 a couple of weeks ago, so he's just coming into his prime now, isn't he? So that's a great age for sports car drivers. Polar Vice then, it's just to let you know, Norbert Bruckner, boss of Polar Vice, he is not here this afternoon. He's had to go down to Pamplona to oversee Sergei Afanasiev and Andreas Simonson. They're competing in the FIGT race in another of the Polar Vice Mercedes, but he is hoping he will get back to Hockenheim in time for the big party on Sunday night, and of course he'd like to be here celebrating their championship win. So David Yarn comes in, probably one of the last people to stop aboard the Farnbacher Porsche. He's going to be handing over to the pit window's just closed, so that's great timing. Just made it, yes. But he was in 5th place when he stopped, 5th place. So came in out of 5th. Handing over, as we say, to Eberhardt. Jörg Eberhardt, name familiar to those who know the German Porsche Carrera Cup from 2 or 3 years ago. Look at this, the Ford just building on its lead again. What a great performance by Lambda Racing. Of course, they're local, come from just not far away from near Mannheim. So this is very much their home circuit. 650 horsepower they're getting out of these GT3 cars. And there is that 7 car, Eberhardt going back out now. Where's he going to rejoin? So the Mercedes is coming through, and Raginger's it's going to be nip-tuck between him and Raginger. He's going to exit the pit lane now. Raginger's coming through. Raginger's just going to do it. He's going to get the momentum coming out of the first corner. There we go. So he's in a net 4th place at the moment. That's very, very close. But interestingly, 2 Porsches fighting for the final podium position behind Ford and behind Mercedes. With Porsche right at the end of the season, once again starting to find their form. Robert took until Lausitzring, but Robert Renaud to give Porsche its first win of this year. 5 wins to Corvette, 4 to BMW, 2 to Audi, 1 each to Mercedes, Porsche and Ford. And it's going to be 2 to Ford in 13 minutes time. If there's no problems now for this car, they are so hooked up. Dominic Schwager, 27 years old. He's from Munich, just as Frank Kessler is. And really have been a dream team this year, those two, just getting their act together after some early Ford drives by Nico Verdonk and Jens Klingmann, but for the rest of the time they've been together. That's the 24 Nissan then. That's Peter Dumbreck, I think. Oh dear, what's happened there? It's a backmarker Corvette Peter's tangled with, and that's a typical Spitzker accident, just spins him out. So here is the potential championship points if the race finishes now. Diego Alexi and Daniel Kilbitz will win the championship if the race is stopped now, but anything can happen in the next few minutes, as we well know. We haven't actually seen much of Daniel Kilbitz in the last sort of 10 or so minutes, but he must have gained a certain number of places to bring himself back into the potential championship lead, because when Diego Lacey was in the car 30 minutes ago, they were second. So he must have gained 3 or 4 spots that we haven't seen.
Yeah, he's still running in 6th at the moment, but of course that's just the points as they would be. It's not actually what would happen in the championship, because we're still
Lacey was 9th.
Another race to go
when he pitted.
That's right, pitted from 9th, and they have rejoined at the moment. They're in 6th, so gained a lot of time there. I don't know if anyone else had a bad pit stop particularly. I can't see that. They've all been running 11s. I'm just erring on the side of caution. If you do a 110, it's very, very tight. Philip Frommenweiler, by the way, taking over Marion Farnbacher, didn't. He did a 1:9.6, so he is going to get a drive-through penalty. And that car had rejoined in 8th place, so wait to see a drive-through penalty for Philip Frommenweiler. That's spoiled Mario Farnbacher's race for him.
It has. 0.4 of a second under, and you get a drive-through penalty. That's going to waste you 25-30 seconds, and all hopes of even getting in the points are then dashed.
Yeah. So on board now with Daniel Kulvitz, just as you said, we're not seeing much of him. Here we are. Here is the 27-year-old. Has had a faultless year this year. He and
coming through the famous stadium section of the circuit. It's one of the parts of Hockenheim that hasn't been redone over the last 10-15 years. It's stayed the same for a long period of time, and when you used to watch Michael Schumacher in Formula 1, that was the place. When he entered the stadium section in the lead of a Formula 1 race, it was like a goal had been scored at Wembley. It was a huge eruption of cheer and clapping, etc.
Well, the same with the DTM. I mean, they get 150,000 for the final DTM weekend of the year, and Carlton and I would be in the commentary cabins just up in those grandstands, and the whole place just shook every time the DTM cars came round. Absolutely fantastic motorsport venue. Here we are then going through the back of the circuit. This is the Parabolica. That's the... Is that the Farnbacher car?
I think that's a bit of a battle between Fromritter and Jörg Müller in the BMW.
That's Eberhardt, isn't it, in the number 7 car?
Is it?
So I think what we're looking at there is the...
So it's Dominic Baumann and Eberhardt.
Eberhardt, that's right.
That's the one.
Eberhardt, is he going to have to take a penalty now, or has he taken it already? I think he's already taken it, actually. Yeah, because they pitted on lap 12, and our lap chart shows that they made another stop on lap 14 just before the pit window opened. So he lost 4 places in that, and he's fallen back into the clutches, as you said, of Dominic Baumann and Claudio Hürtgen, championship contenders as well, but will they be in 9 minutes' time? We're going to lose a certain number of people, of course, at the end of this race. We started 11 championship contenders. How many will be going into tomorrow's Sunday race, still in with a chance of the title?
Well, the BMW is actually one car that hasn't seemed to suit this Hockenheim circuit. I know the BMWs do struggle with a bit of straight line speed. They're fantastic through the corners, they're very nimble, but ever since their inception they always have seemed to struggle with straight line speed. There's some long old straights here at Hockenheim, and you know that's going to hurt the car, and it does seem to me that you know there's not one in the sort of top 4. The closest one is this one of Claudio Hürtgen and Dominic Baumann, and those guys have, I believe, had a win this year.
Yep. Frommenweiler, not the 7 car, it was the 6 car that had the drive-through, and they dropped down to 11th place. The number 7 car we're just following at the moment, that wasn't affected by the drive-through, but it's Kulvitz all over the back of it now, and how good is Eberhardt? We're going to find out in a minute. We know the Porsche is good in the straight line, but how good is the man on board?
Well, he seems to not have the pace of the guys around him. Baumann's pulling away. Kulvitz is catching him. The one thing Kulvitz has to be very wary of is the fact that he's in a championship battle here. So if he's going to overtake, he's got to be careful about where he does it, and he's got to do it decisively. He can't sort of just about show him the nose or half do a move and risk getting tangled up, because that would be very detrimental to his championship. So it's a pressure move here, because he needs the points, but also he cannot afford one slip up. So he's got to pick his moment very carefully indeed to try and get past this Porsche.
He's got another quick man right behind him, Simon Knapp, the Dutchman, there in that red BMW, following these two. Car that won at Zandvoort last year, then won again this year, and seemed to have just one win every year. That was race one at the Slovakia Ring. This absolutely stormed the new circuit there, unfamiliar to nearly everybody here, except, would you believe, Maxi Buch, who has raced there in ADAC Formula before he moved over into this series. So Alesi definitely much quicker in the corners.
Kilvitz.
Kilvitz. But that Porsche really struggling for rear end grip now, Stuart, I think.
Well, I think it is a little bit, but the traction out of the slow stuff, where the rear of the car settled down. But a great toe there. The Corvette straight line speed is fantastic. Got a great toe. The Porsche, in fairness, hasn't made it at all hard for Kilvitz to get through. Again, a textbook overtaking manoeuvre down the inside. He's not going to get back there. The Corvette has shut the door, got a good exit, and Kilvitz now is going to be on his way. He's going to be chasing down Baumann, and the Porsche is going to have the other BMW in his rear view mirror very soon.
So pretty traumatic start to this race, dramatic start to the race, but settled down into something of a procession towards the end. But it's just Kilvitz chipping away at the cars ahead of him. He's now up into 5th place. So our race leader is still Frank Keckler. Had an absolutely brilliant race out front there, and Keckler just looking to see if he can just get that 3rd win of the season already. And Keckler from Schwager on board now, of course. Buch in 2nd place, Ragginger in 3rd place, Dominic Baumann in 4th, Kilvitz up into 5th, and Eberhardt being monstered now by Simon Knapp. Here is Simon right behind him in that Dutch car. Great shot this, the 3 cars all fighting at the moment for that 5th place.
So 5 minutes to go. Dominic Schwager leading this race comfortably from Maximilian Buch, and Maximilian Buch has got a very comfortable lead over Martin Ragginger, who in turn has got a very comfortable lead over Dominic Baumann.
And look how those points jump up every time that Kilvitz makes a pass. It's 169, now suddenly it's 171, and is he going to get any more move for the end of this race? He's only got 4 laps to go now, 3 laps in fact, 4:41.
And I will tell you now that Dominic Baumann will be a much harder man to pass than Eberhard in the Porsche.
Yeah, so that's our number 8 car we're looking at the moment. Martin Ragginger, man from Vienna. There's a 17 car. It's a little bit way down the field there. That's Remo Lips. Of course, what they haven't been showing us is the Gentleman Championship until now. Remo Lips in that 17 car, but I would like to see, please, Mr. Director, the number 5 car, the Farnbacher Porsche, for Kuba Giermaziak, who is showing that car with Christina Nielsen. Quick spin there for the 17 car. Perhaps that's why they were just showing us Renault Lips getting up to speed again. So the 5 car of Christina Nielsen in 13th place at the moment, leading the Gentleman Series. There's only 4 runners: Tony Seiler, Remo Lips, we just saw spinning, and Rennie Bordeaux. But Rennie Bordeaux already out of the race, unfortunately. He and Alfred Renauer had gearbox problems in their Herbert Motors Porsche. So Christina, if she stays in 13th place and is not passed by any of the other Gentleman drivers, she will be champion this afternoon. 21 years old from Aarhus in Denmark.
So Martin Ragginger coming down into the Spitz curve. Who are we on board with now? I can't see. Are we still on board with Ragginger, but we haven't got a different shot? Or are we on board with, or we might be on board with a Corvette? I'm not good with sounds. I just can see a big old rear. I think that was a Corvette we're on board with. I'm pretty sure that was the Corvette we're on board with. Daniel Kilvitz, currently as it stands, leading the championship. Will lead the championship going into tomorrow's race, or I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him.
So I think we're on lap 22 at the moment, if we got our sums right. Still Schwager for Ford leading, Buch Mercedes, Ragginger Porsche, Baumann BMW, and Kilvitz the Corvette. 5 different makes in the top 5 places, which is exactly what the ADAC want with their balanced performance. Just works so well, doesn't it?
Simon Knapp in the background has got past Eberhard.
All right.
So Simon Knapp is going to be after Kilvitz now, but with 2 minutes to go on the clock, I think positions are, unless there's going to be mechanical issues or drivers make very silly errors, just like me there in my commentary, positions aren't going to change very much in this last lap.
Yep, so that's the 3rd place car, 4th place car, number 19 of Dominic Baumann, 5th place car, championship leader, 6th place car, Simon Knapp is trying to close up. Oh, a bit of a front end washout there for the number 7 car. That was Eberhard, wasn't it? Just losing front grip as he came into the parabolic entry.
So Eberhard under pressure from Ferdinand Stroll there in the MS Racing Audi R8 LMS Ultra.
Probably asking us what's happening to the Nissans. We saw Peter Dunbrett having a spin, didn't we, in that
I think he was helped.
Number 24
I think it's a bit harsh telling me.
Oh, no, yeah.
I think he was certainly helped
and
into
that dropped them back down to 19th. So the 2 JRM Nissans, Stephen Kane and Peter Dunbrett running 18th and 19th. Steep learning curve.
It is. I think that 50 kilos of ballast that's been plonked in the passenger footwell of that Nissan GTR is not helping because in Blancpain they are right at the front.
Yep. So here we go. Going to be one more lap to go on this. I was being asked during the week by our friends at the ADAC, what chance of Aston Martin coming in with customer cars next year here?
Who knows? We had 2 cars in the ADCA Masters last year with young driver. Both teammates, my teammates this year in the 95 car, Christian Poulsen and Christopher Nygaard were racing those cars along with the Stux. Their GT3 car is a fantastic car. I'm not just biased, but done quite a bit of driving in it. It's a good car, and I think it would fit in very well in this championship. So, you know, I think some of these customer teams need to go and buy an Aston Martin.
Well, you're in a good place at the moment. You and Jamie Campbell-Water leading the World Championship, of course, and your car also leading. There isn't actually a GT AM Drivers Trophy. Was there now? Yeah, okay. But you've definitely the team's trophy you're leading. 3 races still to go. Quite a tall call.
It is. We've had a couple of good rounds. Not everyone's particularly happy about it because I'm classified as NAM, as a silver, but you know, that's the way it goes. So is Matt Griffin, so is Christopher Neugaard, so am I.
Yeah. And of course, Rowan Goetter's missed a couple of races because of business commitment.
He has. He's missed a few rounds, yeah. So you know, hopefully he'll be back at Fuji. If not, we have another silver lined up.
Right.
So it'll be very interesting. Back to the race now, but Frank Heckler coming through the last 2 corners. Is going to take a very dominant win for the Lambada Performance Ford GT.
That's win number 6. No, not number 6. Sorry, I'm just looking down the wrong thing. Keckler is win number 3. Great outing here this afternoon. What a good race for this Ford. Good job by both of them. And look at the gap he had over everybody at the end of the race. 7.3 seconds, 18 seconds back to Martin Ragginger. And here we go. Here's the man still leading the championship. Daniel Kielwitz comes over the line in 5th place, but 29 seconds back on the race leader. That shows what a huge advantage that Ford has had over the rest of the field this weekend.
Well, it was only a 40-minute race, wasn't it?
Yeah, could have been a lot more, couldn't it? So everyone at Lambda Performance very, very happy there. And there are the points after that as we go into Sunday's race. But what we've done, we've whittled those 11 drivers down to 7 now. There's just those 7 who are still potentially in with a chance of winning the title. Everything to win tomorrow. We're going to take a break. Be back at Hockenheim on Sunday. Well, you're back here at Hockenheim on Sunday, the final race of the year for the ADAC GT Masters. We are 16 races in, 8 rounds. Stuart Hall with me, Mark Cole, looking at this thrilling finale to what's been a great season. 7 drivers and 4 teams still in with a chance of the title over the next hour, Stuart.
Nope, we're in for a thrilling race, Mark. We had a great race yesterday, which was started in some fashion with that huge accident for, forgotten who it was.
Gert Beisel
and
Rahal
Frey, two massive accidents which red flagged the start of that race, and we were left with a 40-minute blast to the flag. But hopefully today we'll have no dramas. We'll have a clean hour's racing, and at the end we're going to be crowned with the 2013 ADCA Masters champion.
Yep.
Who's your bet?
Could be any one of 7.
It could be.
That's my bet.
Could be.
So second pole after Nürburgring, Jeroen Bleekemolen in the Callaway competition car. He shares with Tony Seiler. There she is, Christina Nielsen, our gentleman champion already. Before we even start this race, doesn't half help that she's blonde as well. It'd be such a good move for the series. That Polar Vice alongside the Mercedes of Max Buch starting, Dominic Schwager, Lambda Ford and Daniel Kilvitz starting from the second row, 4th fastest for Callaway competition. All they've got to do is keep that, and they can be champions, but it could be a tall order. I think there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving in this race. 3 Prosperia Abt Racing Audis in the race, all 3 retired yesterday, but Christian Abt is still buoyant, still confident they could win the team's title. Take us racing, Stuart.
So the lights are red. They're green, so status quo at the front. No, Jeroen Bleekemolen gets the jump on Maxi Buch going into the first corner. Side by side is Kilvitz and I think that was Dominic Schwager. So it was Dominic Schwager, and we certainly don't have the dramas of yesterday yet, as Dominic Baumann, trying to make a move on one of the Audis, is bumping and boring as they go into the parabolic entry curve.
That's not good, is it, for the Corvette? That's lost about 2 places in the first couple of corners. Got hit from the side by Christa Jons, I think, in one of the Abt Audis. And so Kilvitz really fighting for position at the moment. He's 1, 2, 3, getting out 4th place back. Look at the speed he's carrying through. But everyone bunching up as they go in now. That's Simon Knapp comes up behind. Oh, and he's punched the back of Kilvitz. He's turned Kilvitz round in the Spitzker. Oh dear, this is just what they didn't need. They're going to restart at the back of the field, Stuart.
That is a nightmare start there for Daniel Kilvitz. Completely, I don't know the word for it really. It's just he's just been taken out there by the BMW. He turned in completely unaware that the BMW was even close to him, and he just tagged him round. So what an uphill task they've got for the next 58 minutes.
I don't think Nat would have stopped if he hadn't hit him, would he? He was just looked like he just completely missed his braking point down the inside, and that was it. Thump. The red mist will come down, and Kilvitz will be so fast now. Jeroen Bleekemolen is, though, from Maxi Buch, from Schwager, and from Dominic Baumann, Christopher Meiss, and Simon Knapp. Not slowed down at all by that. He's still right up there in the top 6.
Great shot of the Camaro as well. It didn't take part in yesterday's race. Needed an engine change. It's back in, and
Ollie Gavin's on board. Yeah, he's on board. Look at this, Kilvitz going past. He's just chopping away at people, trying to get that place back. That's the number 17 car he's just gone past. That is the Callaway Corvette of Renault Lips and one of the Porsches. Or is that Renault Lips just ahead of him now? Yeah, he's only taken 1 place back. Goes past Renault Lips and comes up the inside. So at least he's made 2 places already in the first half lap since he got spun out. But he must be furious, and I just can't imagine what Diego Lacey. Talk us through this.
So he's they're on the brakes turning in. Baumann gets down the inside of Kilvitz. Kilvitz turns in, and then De Boer just...
Oh, Simon Knapp. Yeah.
Sorry, apologies. Simon Knapp just, I think a bit of spatial awareness issues, tags Daniel Kilvitz round. It can happen. That's where it does happen. It normally does kick off at the Spitz curve here at Hockenheim. It's where there's a big domino effect. Everyone's stopping going into that first corner, and unfortunately it's taken the championship leader out.
Yeah, 25th place he rejoined, and he's already up into 21st place now. And oh dear, look at the everyone looking in the garage. That's all the race fans, and that's Maxi Gotts thinking, oh yes, just what we needed, isn't it?
Yeah, raw emotion going on. It doesn't get any more emotional than that. You've got the 2 real championship protagonists there. going at it, and a complete different view of emotions. But long way to go. We've only had 2 laps.
So 1 hour race, 35 minutes. The pit window will open. That's 35 minutes on your screen at the top, and when it gets to 25, those pits will close again. And as we remind you time after time, just there's 10 minutes to make the changes, and you must not come out of the pits in under 70 seconds or you're penalised. So
Kilbett's behind Peter Dumbrek there.
Yep. So now he knows what. Or
Peter... is it which one of the two? But a bit of a lunge going in. That's a very, very good move there. Dumbrek just gives him enough room. And we know that Corvette is very fast in a straight line. We know the Nissan's struggling with that 50-kilo weight penalty, so that's move done. Moving on to the Audi. Yeah, that's CMS Racing Audi of Florian Stoll, the car he's sharing with last year's champion Sebastian Asch. Through he goes. Lovely move there, just carving his way through. If he keeps this up, he could get to the top 10 by the time they make the pit stops. Well, he's got one big advantage, and that Corvette is a missile in a straight line. You can really see when it picks up the toe of another car, it sucks it in and straight past. So, but are the cars ahead of him expecting him? This is the thing. Are they just waiting for him to pass, or are they thinking, who's this behind me? Oh, I think they're all here to race. And, they're going to make it. And I think that's Stephen Kane in front of him in the other JRM Nissan. It is indeed in the 25 car. Well spotted. He's not going to make it easy, but with the straight line speed and the fact that we know the Nissan's struggling ever so slightly with that weight penalty, it's going to be inevitable. Yeah. Oh, just a little bit of a tap there. Love kiss as they love tap they go through. Here's the Camaro. Oh, it's wonderful Camaro. Another Chevrolet, of course, racing. So we've got several in this race, as we've already told you. We've got the president of Chevrolet Europe here, just coming to see how his cars are getting on. And wouldn't he love the car we're riding on to be champions? What a trip that would have been. Here we are. It's Corvette leading. It's Corvette fighting for the championship further back, way further back. That number 2 car still only up into 18th place at the moment. But as you say, there's a long way to go. So Kilbett's now trying to make a move on Ollie Gavin. Little bit down the inside, but Ollie again gives him racing room. Obviously loving every moment of this. He's having a bullet moment, isn't he? Wonderful, wonderful. And we're going to see, I know the Corvette's certainly quick in a straight line, so we're going to see how quick the Corvette is. If the Corvette can go past the Camaro, sorry. Same engine, basically, isn't it? It does, it does. So, they build them fast there. Oh, got some more. Goodness me, that wasn't on, was it? That was just stupid. Well, that caused a chain reaction. A broken front suspension on their Audi, is there? No, it's just the way he's got the wheel turned. That's the 49 car. That is the... You've got an hour's racing with 53 minutes to go. You try and pass 5 cars going into the Spitz curve. I mean, a stupid move. Who was it in the Corvette? That's in the Corvette. Ollie Gavin. No, the Corvette. Sorry, no. It was the Corvette. It wasn't what Ollie wouldn't. Sorry, Lennart Marianek. This showing of just brakes too late, loses it on the entry, and ruins the race of 2 drivers. Yeah, well, this is Nico Verdonk, who's in the Phoenix racing car. That's Ernst Moser's car. Now, interestingly, Stuart, that Phoenix are also this afternoon at Zandvoort, trying to win the DTM with Mike Rockenfeller. So they're sort of double banked here today. And as most of you will know by now, Mike Rockenfeller did win the DTM title with Ernst Moser's Phoenix Racing, so perhaps not all quite as bad as it could have been, but Enzo Ida waiting in the pits to take that car over. On board with Kilbitz again then, and we're just seeing he's tucked up now behind one of the Farnbacher Porsches. That is... can't see it. Is that Oberhand, or is that Frommenweiler? I think it's Frommenweiler. Frommenweiler, the man who got the drive-through penalty yesterday. Again, sitting duck in a straight line. Yeah. Kilbitz is past. And he's now up into 15th place. Man on the move. Just 8 minutes of the race gone. And takes another place. So that was it again, wasn't it? Yeah. So I don't think it was Frommenweiler actually. It was certainly it was a different colour scheme to the Farnbacher car. Just to confuse us. A white front. Yeah. Up behind one of the Abdaudis now. Corvette working very well indeed. I mean, the car looks balanced in the corners, rides very nicely over the curbs, and of course, as I've said many times, it's a missile in a straight line, and that is helping him overtake people. That's what you need. You need a lot of grunt, especially on a circuit like this where you've got some long straights.
So not far ahead of him now will be the other of the Polar Vice cars, the number 11 car, which is in the hands of Luca Ludwig and Thomas Jaeger. They come here as a joker as well, just to help Polar Vice's effort. Norbert Haug then, former motorsport maestro of Mercedes. First time he's been to the ADAC Masters this year, we're told, and he's there in the pits with the Polar Vice team this weekend. So a very slim-looking Norbert as well.
Been on the treadmill, has he?
And another man who's
not
here,
that he needs to be.
Talking of Norberts, another man who's here watching this weekend, Norbert Vettel, father of Sebastian. He's here in the pits too. Right, this is a out of time stop for some reason. Which of the cars is this? This is the
one of the Nissan
17 car. This is Marionek. This is the car we saw earlier having a bit of a moment.
So that's the Nissan giving him a bit of payback, is it?
Yeah, that's
Stephen Kane there giving him a bit of payback for what he caused him earlier. Well, you know,
going large.
I'm not one for dirty racing, but he did deserve it.
Right. So Marionek into the pits and out of the race in the 17 car.
It's back out.
Right. So on board with Maxi Buch in the number 10 car, running still in second place as he has been since the start of the race. He started from the front row of the grid, and all he's got to do really is pace himself behind Jeroen Bleekemolen. Bleekemolen's no problem for him because he's not in the championship points. Doesn't need to try and pass him. Just stay behind him, get the toes, just make the most of it, keep out of trouble, and he will be champion at the end of this race if nothing goes wrong.
No, he's in prime position at the moment. He's just staying far enough away from Bleekemolen not to be disturbed in his dirty air. He's got a little bit of a gap there to Dominic Schwager, so he just needs to stroke that car. Be kind to the tyres, and well, you can't. You know, it's got a paddle shift, so gearbox wise, you can't really do anything. But you've just got to be nice and kind to it. He's probably going to be hearing all sorts of noises, but there's still 49 minutes to go, and a lot of things could happen.
He's got his mirrors full of Dominic Schwager's Ford, the number 14 car. There he is. So these three starting to break away from everybody else. Meanwhile, you're asking, where's the number 2 car? 13th place.
So he's made up a lot of places, hasn't he?
So from 26th to 13th. But Maxi Buch, just 20 years old, youngest man racing here today. He's just 5 days younger than Jody Fannin, incidentally, who's in one of the JRM Nissans. So,
he shares with Stephen Kane.
Yep. Stephen Kane, of course, from Northern Ireland, and another great endurance driver. Had that great win, didn't he, in Baltimore 2 years ago in the ALMS. People still talk about that race. They don't talk about this year's, do they? That was a complete disaster.
It was certainly a disaster at the start. A lot of bent metal.
Yeah. A lot of people said if David Brabham had been there, it would never have happened, which is quite interesting because the way he used to pace the field. So there's the number 8 car running in 7th place at the moment. Martin Ragginger on board that Herbert Motorsport car. Nice solid drive by the Austrian factory Porsche driver again. Just looking at the positions, so look how damaging that spin's been to Alessi and Kilvitz.
It is.
12 points behind. This is Simon Knapp, the man who caused that spin.
Is that a drive-through? Is that a drive-through because of it? Because it's far too early for the pit stop window.
Yeah, my guess is that is what has happened. Yep, they're very hot on clean driving here in the ADAC Masters, respecting track limits as well. Although at Hockenheim it's quite difficult not to respect the track limits because you find yourself on the grass if you go over the white lines with all 4 wheels.
So it's doing a remarkable recovery job at the moment, just catching another one of the Corvettes fairly quickly. I'm sure he's going to dispatch that just like he's done everyone else so far with
Christian Hohenadel in the number of the Callaway Corvettes, of course teammate, so he'll let him by.
You think that, but from previous experience, you are racing your teammates, and you know they may be your teammates, but they want to win as well. But
Christian Short, Christian gets in room, doesn't he, in the Mercedes arena? I'm sure team will have been on the radio and say, come on, this guy's struggling, let him by. Anyway,
it's a good move there by that's
here we go.
It's a nice team job to do.
Here's
that.
a replay of it. Christian doesn't lose any time at all, but he just gives him space, doesn't move over to take the line how he normally would, and through he goes.
Yep. Gives him so Kilvitz doesn't lose any time whatsoever, and he can continue his pursuit. Quite rapid pursuit back up the field.
Well, he's now 10th, of course, because Simon Knapp took that stop-go penalty, or drive-through penalty, and he's now moved up to 10th place. So, how about that? 16 places in 7 laps.
That's incredible.
This has got to be one of the drives of the year, hasn't it, the ADAC GT Masters?
I think it's going to start becoming a bit harder now, because with no disrespect to the people and the cars that he's passed, you know, you've got some great drivers in cars that aren't as quick as they really should be, but you've also got some of the AMs in the field. Whereas now he's going to be coming up against the majority of the pros, people like Waginger, Winkelhock, Gismark, Barman, Mize, and they're going to be a much tougher ask to just side through like that.
In fact, that is Philip Frommenweiler and Kuba Gimaziak running nose to tail in the 2 blue Farmbacker Porsches. That's going to be his next target. Gimaziak's been a very, very quick driver this year, and of course he's just helped Christina Nielsen to the Gentleman Championship, so they don't have to worry about the car today. He can just push. They're not worrying about points anymore. They've already won the championship. There is Diego Alessi, the lawyer from Perugia, just thinking, oh, he's catching up, but I've got to take over. And as we saw in the first race, Daniel is the quicker of the 2 drivers here this weekend.
He is, but that's not taking anything away from Diego Alessi. He's been a front runner in this championship for a long time. He has a huge amount of experience. We're going to see here. This
is when the camera cut away a moment ago. We just missed that. This is another bit of a push and shove. All a bit not unnecessary, isn't it, Stuart? That's the 33 car being spun out. I think it was 33. Do we have a 33? No, we don't. So it must have been the 23.
So some desperate people out there looking for potentially jobs next year and pulling moves that aren't really on.
It's anti-productive, isn't it? Because any team manager looking at that saying, I don't want him on my team if he's going to treat my car like that.
So we haven't seen much of them, but credit where credit's due. Jeroen Blekemolen, in only his 2nd race in the championship this year, I believe, has a commanding, well, not commanding, that's the wrong word, but very decisive lead. He's leading over Maxi Book, and Maxi Book has got a small advantage over Dominic Schwager. Those 3 really starting to pull away now from Dominic Baumann, and as we get nearer and nearer to the pit window, this is when things can start to go wrong.
Yeah, Jeroen had that fantastic fight at the Nürburgring this year. He finished second, started from pole. He and Tony Siler spent the whole race fighting Dominic Baumann and Claudio Hurtgen. They finished, the BMW won the race, but the Corvette finished 2nd, and that was Tony Siler's best race for some years. Remember, he's a gentleman driver, and an incredible result. Pole position, finished 2nd, and they'd like to do pole position and win here this afternoon, and that's great for the CV, isn't it? Even if it doesn't mean anything to the championship.
Win, especially in a championship as hard as this.
Probably the world's most competitive GT3 championship, which takes nothing away from the Blancpain, which I know you race in.
I disagree. I'd say it's as competitive as Blancpain. You know, both have a serious number of cars in. Blancpain has sort of 50-60 cars in it. That makes that so competitive. And this championship, again, very, very competitive. It just goes to show that GT3 is a booming formula.
Well, we're coming from different sides, of course. I'm looking at it as a spectator and journalist. You're actually racing in it, so we see it from different sides. But I'm going to I think what you say is going to be what applies, because you're in it, you're doing it.
I've never done one of these races though, so but having spent the last couple of years with you commentating on it, it's never fails to provide some fantastic entertainment.
We'll call this on a draw then, shall we? Now this is getting interesting. Ford is having a little bite, isn't it, at the back of the Polar Ice Mercedes.
I think Schwager's got him.
Has he?
Yep, Schwager's got him. Got a better exit out of the Mercedes arena.
I blinked.
And through he goes. There's something wrong with that Merc. There's something wrong. It's dropping back very quickly.
He's not happy, is he?
No, it can't be.
So the 14 car then.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something. Suddenly that Merc has lost some pace, and it was coming out of the corner, so it's going to be drivetrain, gearbox, potentially engine, but he's lost a huge amount of time in just one lap there. Well, that car's Maxi Book.
That car has been so reliable all year. I mean, they've just been taking the win. They've had 4 second places, they've had 3 third places, they've just had reliability on their side the whole season, which is why they're second in the championship with only 1 win against the 5 wins of the Corvette.
So Bauman's catching Book hand over fist now.
Yeah.
And Schwager's going away from him.
But you're absolutely right about Kielwitz in the Corvette. He is now stuck in 10th place, and he cannot make much impression on the pros ahead of him, as you quite correctly called. So
2 seconds. 2 seconds, 2.1 seconds he lost on that lap to Dominic Schwager.
So what's happened to Book?
Unless he's got a tyre-related issue that, you know, these Yokohama tyres are very good. We don't see many of those on in this form of racing. So it'd be interesting to see what's the issue. I mean, it's from the onboard footage, the car's got a lot of oversteer, which means the rear of the car is sliding when the car enters the corner, when it's middle of the corner, when it exits the corner. But to me, that's more than just a little bit of a handling problem. There's something bigger going on inside that Mercedes that we're not privy to at the moment, but could have terrible effects on the championship for these 2 guys. Dominic
Bauman's closing all the time. Here he is. He'll be handing his car over to Claudio Hurtgen, but he's so much closer, isn't he now? Just in the last half lap, he's made 4 or 5 car lengths inroad onto the back of the Mercedes. Surely it's only a question of time he's going to be past 2. And then, even then behind them, here comes one of the Abdaudis. That's the Prosperia car, I think, of Christy Jons. Or was it Rennie Rast? See in a moment.
So Bauman cruising up onto the back of the Mercedes now, and there seems to be nothing Maxi Book can do about it. Let's have a listen.
Sounds healthy, no?
Yeah, we can't. From our ears, we can't seem to notice any difference with the sound of the engine. It's just, you know, if a BMW is catching in a straight line, there's got to be some issue, because they're rubbish in a straight line.
Yeah, it's just definitely a loss of speed, isn't it? So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back to see how this pans out, as our potential champion is in some sort of car trouble. Back in a moment. We're back at Hockenheim, and we are just coming up to the halfway point, or just over almost the halfway point, when the pits open at 35 minutes as Jeroen Bleekemolen leads the pack here. But we've got problems for championship contender Maxi Book in that white Mercedes. He's now being flashed by Dominic Bauman, who wants to come by, take 3rd place off him, and we believe that, we being myself, Mark Colt, Stuart Hall, we believe that Mercedes has some sort of problem, maybe engine related.
Well, and you can see how close Daniel Kielwitz. Diego Alesi is getting in about 10 minutes time. Daniel Kielwitz is not so far away from Maximilian Goetz. Maximilian Book, is turning into the first corner. He's just gone through the first corner now. You've seen them up ahead. Alesi's going into the first corner now. Just remember, this guy was spun round on lap 1 and was dead last. He's now 10th.
Here he is coming up on the back of Kuba Gimesiak and Philip Frommenweiler, 2 of the farm back of Porsches. Kuba will be handing over to Christina Nilsson, who is the newly crowned Gentleman Championship. Very strange title for a lady, but let's not pick at it. And Mario Farmbach, of course, team boss in the number 6 car, will be taking over that car from Philip. But I think it's only going to be a question of time before he gets past the 2 Porsches. But both these Porsche drivers are the pro drivers in those cars.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel Kielwitz is going to find it too easy. But you know, that Corvette has been siding for everybody today, so we'll see. But Dominic Baumann right on the back of Maximilian Buch now, right on the back of him, and already looking for a way through. They're just coming into the famous stadium section now. There's a passing opportunity now, quite difficult, going into a left-hand corner. It's a long left-hand corner, and it's all about getting a good exit. You carry on going left, then you're into a double right onto the main front straight. I'm just wondering, do you think that the telemetry or in the car he saw some sort of problem, backed off for a while, and now maybe whatever it was, maybe it was overheating. Engine. That must be. Big flash of smoke from underneath the car. Looks like I put a rod through the side or something like that. Oh no, there it is. There's the title going. Oh, Maxi Gotts just thinking, oh, look at this, the Corvette team. Reeves Callaway in the background there, incidentally, having come all the way from California, pulls off, and oh dear, it's all over. This is it, the end of the year. The championship dies with the engine on that car, and Maxi Buch must be so gutted, having come here from winning just the previous weekend the Blancpain driver's title. Well, like the Audis, these cars have been bulletproof all year. It's one of these cars has won the it's won the Nürburgring 24 hours, and it's won the Spa 24 hours. So we know how reliable. Maxi Buch was one of the drivers in the Spa 24 hours that won in that car, and he, like you said, Mark, he won the Blancpain Endurance Series last weekend as well at the Nürburgring 1,000 kilometres. So desperate luck there, especially for Maxi Gotts, who was looking to become a double champion. There's the moment, bang! Something's gone big time. A leg out of bed, as they used to say. Just as Dominic Baumann came onto him. Huge flash, as he said, huge flash. So desperate luck, but it's not desperate luck for the Corvette guys. I think it was a bit of bad taste to cheer that, to be honest, from the guys in that garage. But you know, I guess you're all here to race. Is it so much cheering his misfortune as cheering the fact they think they've now won the championship? True. You know, it's but poor Maxi Gotts just. As gutted as this man, his young 20-year-old teammate getting out of the car, youngest man racing here this year. That car really well steaming now as they get the extinguishant onto it. Well, that's the way the season ends sometimes, isn't it, Stuart? We've all been there. I'm sure he'll have a bright future ahead of him. Yeah. I expect there'll be a DTM test in the future of him as well. What, they've had it? Oh, they've had it, has he? Both of them had the DTM test the week after Slovakia ring. Ah, okay. For Mercedes, and so we haven't heard the result of the test yet. It was all done in private, but it was here at Hockenheim, would you believe? They certainly deserve it, that's for sure. Yep. Yes, that's all being kept fairly quiet. So what's going to happen? One man's misfortune is another man's fortune. Daniel Kilvitz, well, of course not, just needs to keep going now. Yep. Suddenly he's found himself in 7th place, because I think he's got by those two Porsches, isn't it? Well, pit window's open. He's got by one of the Porsches. The other one, I think, has gone into the pits. So there we are, up into 7th place now. Now, how's this one going to pan out when he hands that car over? We don't have any yellow flags, fortunately. No safety car. He's well off the track. There we are, at rock and roll. Alessi and Kilvitz back as champions, if this is the positions they finish in now. And the way that car's been going, I think they could be moved further up. Well, you've got a feel for the lad, 20 years old. He seems to be taking it on the chin as well. Yeah, but that's all he can do, I guess. But what a season he's had. Brilliant driving by both of them, and no fault of his own. Just one of those things that happens. His number 8 car. Then this is the the other championship leader. Yeah. Sorry, the other championship contender. Martin Ragginger getting out. Robert Renau getting in. So any misfortune for that Corvette now, this man could take the title. Yep, so Robert Renau looking very, very good indeed in that Tonino powered by Herbert Motorsport car. So that is Martin Ragginger getting out, so he's crouching down, having a little word with Robert Renauer. Yep, Robert's shared that car this year with Martin Ragginger and with other drivers.
Sandra to another of them. Really depended who the Ford Porsche factory could give them for that weekend.
But out he goes. 31 minutes left of the ADCA Masters 2013 season, and we are yet to have a champion.
He was in 5th place when he pitted. Where is he going to be when he rejoins? That goes Robert Renauer.
Perfectly timed pit stop as well, you have to say. So, Jeroen Bleekemolen still leading this race. I'm sure he's going to be coming in at the last possible moment as well. No disrespect to his, but Jeroen Bleekemolen is one of the quickest GT drivers in the world, so they'll be keeping him out as long as possible to try and build that lead. So when Tony Seiler gets in it, there'll be as big a cushion as possible for him over his other rivals.
And that pit window will be closing on lap 20, so they all have to make their stops by then. And of course, as we go through this cycle, the number 2 car, the Corvette, is now up into 4th place for the moment. So we'll be watching to see where he rejoins once the cycle of stops comes to an end. On board again with Kielwitz. Got a nice clear track ahead of him at the moment, so he can just push. It's the golden rule, isn't it, Stuart? You know, when the time comes to the pit stop, you make your in-lap your fastest lap of the race, and the out-lap your fastest lap of the race.
You can. There's so much time to be had coming in and out the pits. You know, it's the time when people tend to relax. They think, oh, it's the end of my stint, and you have to race up right to that pit lane speed limit line. And then when you leave the pit lane, the minute you're across that line, you're flat out again. You know, it's only an hour, this race, so tenths are going to mean places.
So that's Kuba Maziak, who's still following him. Kuba, of course, who won races in the German Porsche Carrera Cup. And has been a really, really good driving partner for Christina Nielsen this year. Done such a good job for her. Helped her to that championship. Doesn't take anything away from her. She has been outstanding herself. Looking at the 19 car, Baumann comes in out of what was now 3rd place.
He's there to hand over to Claudia Hürtgen.
Yeah, First Lady of German Motorsport. Always been BMW, Claudia. She's multiple VLN champion, car champion.
So they're really racing against Bleekemolen and Seidler. That's going to be the interesting one. Bleekemolen's still out. He's yet to pit. He's probably going to pit in a lap or two. And Claudia Hürtgen's going to get in, and she is, no disrespect to Tony Seidler, going to be faster. So it's going to be inevitable that Claudia Hürtgen catches Tony Seidler fairly quickly. So that's going to be an interesting story during this race. It's going to develop fairly quickly.
Yep. Out goes Claudia.
Onto the pit lane speed limiter, looking for that line. 8, 9, 10, 11.2, so 1.2 seconds over the limit. Hürtgen goes out. You can hear the car hits the limiter a couple of times on the way out.
52 years old, Claudia. Got 2 young children. She's from Aachen, which is on the German-Belgian border. She really has been one of the stars of German motorsport. And that's not like her to let an Audi by, and she doesn't. She looks like the Audi almost thought it's coming on a slow car, but hadn't reckoned on it being Claudia Hürtgen. Suddenly she got her brain in gear, and wham, off she went. That was an interesting moment. As in comes Daniel Kielwitz. Is this going to be the championship-winning pit stop?
So, well, he can't have done any more than that, Daniel Kielwitz. A super drive there. Got spun around, kept his cool, put in lap after lap at a relentless pace, scything through the field, got his car up to 7th position, and then pits to hand over to Diego Alesi.
Yep. It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? In fact, as we go through the cycle, he came into the pits in 3rd place, but of course other people have yet to stop. You see on the side of the car there, little sign saying about Gert Beisel, get well soon, Gert Beisel. There we are. Besprung means, you know, quick return to health. Confirmation is that Gert is out of hospital today, has got 2 broken ribs. Teammate signed to him get well soon. May he be watching this on television. So,
Robert Renauer, last corner.
Still a championship contender. So too is René Rast, Christopher Meiss. So too are Claudia Hertgen, Dominic Baumann. So too Diego Alessi and Daniel Kulvitz, but not any longer after the huge build-up over the last few weeks are Maxi Gotts and Maxi Boot. They're out with a blown engine. There's the car still smoking 5 laps later on this side of the track.
So Alessi gets out in front of
that's
David Yarn, I think. Yeah,
he's got a bit of a fire there going on.
Goodness me.
That was the it's put itself out now, luckily.
But Jan has yet.
No,
it's not.
That's Farnbacher.
Yeah, it is Farnbacher.
And Farnbacher has got a fire, so I think we're going to lose Dominic Farnbacher in a minute. One of 3 Farnbacher Porsches racing here this weekend. It's not putting itself out, is it?
That sort of seems to be in the wheel arch.
Yeah.
It's being fueled there by plenty of oxygen because it's on a very aerodynamic part of the car.
Could be a fractured oil line, or who knows. Anyway, surely he's going to come into the pits. The team will be telling him, you are on fire at the back, come in before you do more damage. And it is taking hold, isn't it?
Doesn't seem to be slowing him down though, does it? So Tony Seidler exits the pit lane. He should have the race lead. He should.
Former gentleman driver champion, the Swiss, losing out this year. In fact, losing out big time. By the end of this weekend, he will not only not be runner-up, he will have fallen down into 4th place in the gentleman's standings. Well, Mario comes into the pits. Looks like they're far out now, but there's obviously quite a lot of damage at the back there, and his race presumably over.
Light. It's certainly burnt away plenty of carbon. And like I say, it doesn't seem to be slowing him down just yet, but as we saw in the WEC with Tony Villander's Ferrari a few weeks ago in Interlagos, when a fire catches hold, it doesn't half catch hold. So, battle for the lead. Frank Heckler, Tony Seidler. I think this is going to be inevitable. Yes, it's going to be inevitable. Frank Heckler has a little look. Tony Seidler very prominently shuts the door. You're not coming through here, Frank. You're going to have to try somewhere else.
That's the Swiss gentleman driver who has actually proved to be more than a gentleman over the last couple of years. He's been very quick. As we said, had that 2nd place with Jeroen Bleekemolen at Nürburgring back in the summer.
Keckler furiously flashing his lights, get out of my way, but Tony Seidler has every right to be there. Jeroen Bleekemolen has done a fantastic job in the first half of this race to get that Corvette up there into the lead from pole position.
And this is for position, so
this is for the race lead.
He's 1 and 2 at the moment. Tony Seidler then in the 18 car, just kicking up the dirt as he comes out of the Sud curve, putting into the Nord curve. Braking a little bit earlier than Keckler would like in the Ford, and is he going to get the slingshot now as they go into the Parabolica entry? Pulls out of his slipstream, and he's on the inside. He's got him surely. Tony comes back, has a little nibble, but no.
You know the Corvette's quick in a straight line, Mark, so it'd be interesting to see whether he comes back down through the Parabolica.
Both American V8s, 1 Ford, 1 Chevrolet. He is quick, isn't he, Seidler?
So Keckler defending the inside line, Seidler up the outside. If Keckler can get it stopped, get the car turned in, and then fired out of the corner, he'll have that. He's got that place done. So Keckler's going to be on his way now. He's going to try and build that lead in that fast, and we know it's very fast in the hands of him.
Now Seidler's problem is going to be he's got coming up behind him the 27 Prospera Audi of René Rast, who's taken that over from Christopher Meiss. And Rast, as we know from his Porsche days, is a really quick driver. He's in 3rd place at the moment, and he is starting to mount an attack already on that yellow Corvette. So Alessi on board now, and that car is running in 7th place after the pit stops. That's all they need, as long as they can finish 7th. 6th or better. They are champions.
So no mistakes, just try and be kind to the car, be kind to the tyres. If anything, short shift, because they don't want an engine issue. That's for sure. Don't hit the curbs too much.
Quite enough of those this afternoon.
You know, he's got sort of 21 minutes just to look after that car now.
Yep.
And I'm not going to put the curse of the commentator on him, because they did have a tough break last year in this race. So, you know, let's just hope he can bring it home. We'll see a repeat of the move there from Frank Heckler. Down the inside into the Parabolica entry, gets it turned in, and doesn't allow Tony Seidler to come back on the exit. So a great move there, puts him into the lead of this race, and with a fairly sizable lead at the moment as well.
So all Diego Alessi can do at the moment is just hope that more people have trouble ahead of him. He can move a little bit further up the field, but does seem to be settling down into a little bit of a procession now as we go towards the closing laps of the year. And so many of those laps, 16 races, 8 weekends, taking us from Oschersleben to Spa to Sachsenring to the Nürburgring to the Red Bull Ring in Austria, Lausitz Ring, Slovakia Ring in the Republic of Slovakia, and then now finally finishing, as they always do every year, at Hockenheim, the heart of motorsport. Great racing here again this afternoon. Perhaps a little bit of rough and tumble going on. And here we are. This is now
René Rast has caught Seidler.
Right on the tail of Seidler. Swiss driver doing all he can to hang on to that second place, but he did it at Nürburgring, but he's no chance here. Look at the speed that Audi's carrying, and Rast really hooked up. Dives down the inside, but Nord Curve can't do it.
But is he going to do a Keckler?
Yeah.
Or he's going to go to the outside, is he? He's going to go to the outside using grass, everything, to get past Tony Seidler. Tony Seidler now blocking because he's already had an inside one now. But René Rast, well, if you're going to go to the inside, I'm going to go to the outside. Oh. And I'm going to pass you that way.
Yeah, nice piece of driving by both of those. Seidler gave him plenty of room. That was very fair. So we now have a new second place car. And a new first place car a moment to go. The Ford, we've now got Audi in second place. Remember, Audi have had only one win this year. It's been a very barren year, and what a big mistake was made by Sebastian Asch, last year's champion, when he moved from Mercedes to Audi, thinking that would improve things. He has not had a podium this year.
No, Audi's one of the cars that suffered on balance and performance this year.
Yep.
Not just in ADCA, but in the Blancpain as well.
It'll come back though, it'll come back.
In the British GT Championship.
Yep. Next year we'll probably be talking about Audi as we're talking about Corvette, just winning everything.
So Tony Seidler, now he's been Kecklered, he's been Rast, and now he's got Claudia Hürtgen breathing down his neck as well.
Well, he's got no chance against her, has he? I mean, she is just so quick on her day. It looks like it's one of those days. Just in case you're wondering what is happening further back to that number 2 car, still running in 7th place. He's in fact right behind Martin Ragginger at the moment. Now they're having a look. Comes up
weaving around.
Yeah, just to let him know he's there and just try and unsettle him. Here's Diego. Just one.
So he's out on his own. He's in the best possible position there. There's no other cars around him at the moment. So Claudia has a little look, and they touch.
Oh dear, that could have been nasty.
She's muscled her way through, but hopefully that was a fairly sizable touch. Has it damaged the car in any way?
Yeah.
So Rast comes. So Keckler, Rast, Claudia is still going at a size of a fairly good lick, and behind her is
that's
Krista Johns.
That's the 28 car,
the other Audi.
Yep. He's taken over from Markus Winkelhock. And Claudia then, having moved up into...
So she has got an issue. She's got an issue, Mark.
Oh, she's suddenly slowed. So has that damaged her car? She got a puncture. It was pretty robust, that pass, wasn't it? And here comes Tony Seiler.
Going to repass it. Does look like there's something. It's either suspension or puncture because that car's listing to one side.
Yeah, he didn't look too happy either under braking for the Mobil 1 turn.
Oh!
Oh, and he's... Oh, wow. Oh, what happened there? Was that deliberate?
No, I don't think he could do that again if he tried.
Well, he was weaving coming into the turn, wasn't he? And I wonder if he got something wrong with the back of the car and he's thumped Claudia.
Well, it seemed to be... Well, I don't know what happened. He seemed to draw alongside, touch the brake pedal, and then spear straight into the side of her.
Oh.
So, well, all that's done is give Diego Alesi and Daniel Kielwitz to some more points, I think, because...
Well, that's now moved them up to 5th place. In comes Claudia. So what was all that about? I hope you see the replay. We did see that there was something wrong with the back end of the Corvette as he came braking into Mobil 1 before they went to...
She's got a puncher. That would have been from the first incident, but she's getting out. That's more than a puncher. That's terminal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're into the last 15 minutes of the race, so they are changing everything. But she's got quite a lot of stuff under the car, hasn't she? But she's not at all happy. She's well, I'm sure she and Tony will be having a little chat about this after the race, but she's not talking to anyone. Their race is over, and that's taken them out of the championship as well. So we've got a book-got situation here at the BMW garage. We're going to take a break. Back in a moment. GT Masters, and as always, high drama here at the final round at Hockenheim. We have it every year, and just before the break we saw this car, Tony Seiler's car, punch sideways into the BMW of Claudia Hürtgen, but what quite led up to it we're not sure. They had some contact earlier in the lap and it looked like both cars are damaged. And Stuart, this car was very unsettled, didn't it, in the last couple of corners?
It did. Claudia definitely had a front left puncher, so she was trying to get back to the pits, and as Tony drew alongside, he seemed to either hit the brakes or do something that turned him sharp left straight into the side of her, which has ultimately paid.
Well, he's staying in the car, so he's obviously hoping to get back out, and I think the team, Callaway, will be looking at this and saying, don't know. Meanwhile, just checking for any damage. No,
he's out.
So the Swiss gentleman driver, 55 years old, oldest driver in the race, walks away. Hopefully he and Claudia will be able to settle their differences a little later at the party tonight. Huge party here this evening. There's Jeroen. Oh well, he said that's racing. Great drive by Jeroen. He put the car on pole position, kept it out front, and did exactly what he's paid to do. Yeah,
no, you can't fault him. Perfect performance. He did exactly what he needed to do, just like you said, put the car in the lead, and unfortunately a difficult stint there for Tony Seidler means that unfortunately they've had to retire with 13 minutes to go.
A little bit of a frosty atmosphere between those two cars, I think, in that shot. But 5th place now for this man, Diego Alesi, the Italian lawyer. What an afternoon it's been for him. I mean, the roller coaster of emotion must be amazing. Car starting off from row 2, got spun down to 26th place, and now here they are on lap 27, and they've got back to 5th place. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
It doesn't. It's a great drive back through the field. They've had their fair share of luck, but as many people would say, you make your own luck. Very unfortunate for the Mercedes, because they had it in the bag, and an engine failure is a very, very rare thing in a sports car, Mercedes sports car. So unfortunately, that's put paid to their championship charge. But on the flip side, these guys, Diego Alesi and Daniel Kielwitz, very, very difficult race last year in 2012, where they didn't win the championship in the final race. So fingers crossed for them. They've got 12 minutes to go. As we can see, 12 minutes can be a very unpredictable 12 minutes. But if all goes to plan, and would be nice if it did for those guys, they could win this championship.
Well, they're in the number 1 car behind them. That's the MS Audi carrying number 1 because, of course, Sebastian Asch is on board that car. He shares with Florian Stoll, and they are now mounting an attack on the 5th place Corvette. Roland Sun. Roland, of course, DTM driver extraordinaire over the years, nearly all his career. Mercedes, his son Sebastian now doing a good job last year, taking the championship for Mercedes, but then made the change to Audi with MS. As we mentioned, hasn't been the dream season they'd hoped for in that number 1 car, but this afternoon he's really on a mission.
He is using all the road, all the curb and all the grass street. Pity he didn't use the gravel as well. Diego Alesi doesn't need to fight. You know, he just has to let them through. There's no need to fight position. Whether he finishes where he is now or behind the Audi isn't going to make any difference to the championship. He should just take no risk, let him by, tag onto the back of him for the last 10 minutes and bring it home.
So just about to go into the last 10 minutes. We've had, what, 16 hours of racing this year, and here we are getting ready for the grand finale. 10 minutes of racing, followed by the mother and father of all parties tonight here in the Hockenheim paddock, just like we used to have at the end of the DTM season. So, well, like they still do. It just happens we're finishing a little bit earlier than the DTM here in the ADAC Masters. And already talking about next year, very much unchanged. Regulations last changed. Prize money still €150,000, 8 races, more or less at all the same venues we've had this year. So much to look forward to next year.
There is, and hopefully we can be sat here commentating on all of it.
Yeah, if you get time, Stuart, you're a busy man. Now tell me about this weekend. I mean, you've still got your World Endurance commitment, 3 races to go, but what about this coming weekend? Historics at Paul Ricard?
Yes, donning my goggles this weekend, driving a Porsche 908. Ex-Derek Bell Jackie, ex-Porsche 908 in the Classic Endurance Championship. Right, I think we're going to see now what has happened. So Hürtgen comes back onto the circuit having had that puncture. Seidler goes to avoid her and loses the car just in avoidance.
Yeah, so what we didn't see was that Claudia had gone wide off the track, did we, because of that front puncture.
So I think he violently turns right, and in turning right violently gets a little bit of oversteer, overcorrects and slams straight into the side of her.
Oh, Robert Renard must be so upset by that.
Just gifted him 2 positions, hasn't it?
Yeah, dear oh dear. Yeah, so that was no one's fault, really. Well, the fault was the collision that happened earlier, of course, at the Parabolica, when Claudia was a little bit robust in passing him, wasn't she? But it obviously caused her front puncture, and it caused him some damage as well, which ended up with both of them retiring.
Great shame, but in a championship as close as this, in racing as close as this, unfortunately, incidents like that do happen.
Just looking down for the field, and Christina Nielsen and Kuba Giermaziak in 9th place. Haven't seen them for a while, but Christina, as we said, crowned yesterday as gentleman champion as we watch a very spectacular show of drifting there. I mean, that would go down really well in Japan, wouldn't it? That number 9 car. That is René Bordeaux, who's sharing his gentleman driver car with Alfred Renard. That's another of the Herbert cars. And Christina, by the way, just to bring everyone up to date, Christina, of course, drove the first half of the season in the GT Masters with Alan Senna. And after Alan's tragic death at Le Mans, she has really used Kuba Giermaziak as her mentor, and he's done such a good job. And she very, very beautifully dedicated her championship success yesterday to Alan. And of course, there's the Alan Simonson Foundation has now been formed, and they are collecting money to help with motor racing safety.
They are, and you know, I think the loss of Alan has shocked everybody, and it's a wonderful thing for Christina to do. Alan did drive with her at the start of the year, and I have to say, no disrespect to any of her other teammates, she may have wrapped up the championship even earlier had he still been around. The guy was absolute class, and I think it's a great cause, the Alan Simonson Foundation. So if you're listening, put your hand in your pocket. Yep,
you can just Google it and you'll see all the details there. Very, very worthy cause, and the great thing is it means Alan lives on forever. You know, he's we're not going to forget him.
We certainly won't.
No. Right, this is still the battle for 5th place, and this is still Sebastian Ash in the MS Audi. One of the best performances we've seen by this car this year. Just looking to see where Sebastian is in the championship. I don't think you really want to know. 26th place, and the best they've had this year has been an 8th place. So he's already 2 places up on that. Could make it 3. Let's wait and see. Can he catch the Corvette and pass him? Diego Alessi, mirrors full of Audi. Stuart, he doesn't really have to worry about that, does he? He can let him by, because
we said that earlier. I mean, he just, if Sebastian Ash gets any closer, just let him go. There's no need for it. You know, there's a championship to win here, and if he keeps his nose clean for the next 6 minutes, he will be crowned champion alongside Daniel Kilbit. So let the Audi go, especially with the fact that Audi's had a difficult year, and they'll be pushing. They'll want to try and finish on a bit of a high. So. You know, it could be their best race, so they're going to be taking risks. Just let it go. No need for it.
Yeah, well, if he can keep that car where it is, that would give Audi 3 of the top 5 places this weekend. Rast, Jons up ahead of him, then Renault, then Alessi. But he's got to get by Alessi first. But I suppose, as you say, this is the championship he's trying to win today. Put your ego in the box and don't worry about racing for position.
Exactly. What's more important? And I think we all know the most important thing is bringing that car home. And just see I think he was flashing his indicator there, but the straight line speed of that Corvette is incredible. Ash came out of the corner right behind him, and by the end of the straight he was 3 car lengths behind. That goes to show that how the Audis are struggling on balanced performance. As you can see there, whether it's by fault or he's just knocked the switch, the indicator is on that Corvette.
Well, it's an Italian indicator. Pass me if you can.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Ash hasn't got anywhere close to him. It's all been power parts, but he'll probably get close through this section, and you'd expect Alessi to let him go, but you never know.
So Ash climbing all over the curbs. We see there coming out of Noble 1 corner, around the Sachs hairpin, and then that sort of wiggle into Sud curve takes me over the start-finish line for what I think will be the 32nd time. Look how close the Audi is now. He's just getting a really good tow, isn't he?
Yes, he's lifting, letting him go. You know, very cool head there from Diego Alessi. There's no point in fighting.
So it's just a swap of position for 5th. Alessi goes back to 6th place. No disgrace that. Had a comeback, these 2 drivers. Kilbit's just been outstanding the way he brought that car through. As we said, perhaps one of the drives of the season, from 26th to hand that car over in 7th place at the pit stops. So here's the pass again.
Nicely done, pulled right out of the way, breathed out of the throttle, let him go back in, tucked in behind. There's no one in the vicinity now as well, so he can manage the next couple of laps, second behind the Audi. Looking after the car, as I've said many times, it's a big part of it.
Yes, it really has been an Audi afternoon here. They might not be winning the race. Ford is going to do that again for the 2nd time today by the look of it, but we've got Audis in 2nd, 3rd, 5th and in 7th places, because behind Alessi now is the 100 MS Racing Audi, teammate to Ash, of Dominic Dobish and Adya Patel. Of course, Adya making his name in the Volkswagen Scirocco Championship, and before that in the Polo Cup. Now made the move up this year, the man from Chennai in India, and again an Audi driver who hasn't had the best of seasons, but as we've said before, it was loaded against them this year, Audi, and perhaps it's all going to come back next year.
Well, these things come in swings and roundabouts, don't they?
Yeah, so the gap there, 1.5 seconds last time round between Keckler and Rast.
Rast slowly catching, but I also think Keckler's managing the gap now. I think this may be the penultimate lap. By the time they come over to cross the start-finish line, there isn't going to be enough time for 2 more laps. So there's only 1.5 laps to go. There's no need for Keckler to take risk. Rast is the one trying to catch him. Unless he makes a mistake, 1.5 seconds is a big old gap to try and close down in 1.5 laps. So unless he makes a mistake, he's got this race in the bag.
And what's really important, those two Audis in second and third place are both Prosperia ABT cars, and if they stay where they are now for the last couple of laps, they will take the team's championship. So what a comeback after the disaster yesterday when 3 of their cars failed to finish. Of course, the car that was rolled by Rahel Fry didn't start the race, too badly damaged. So he started off already handicapped with only 2 cars here this afternoon, but they're going to finish second and third, and that will give Christian Abt the team's championship for the second time in the GT Masters, to add to his driver's title of 2009.
No, he certainly can run a race team, that man, can't he, Christian Abt? Great driver in his time, and has now put his driving gloves away and is running a very successful race team.
Yep, the bad boy of the DTM, as we always used to call him, but as you say...
So this is the final lap. They've made this... No. Oh, it is the final lap, but we're looking at the guy in 6th place.
Yep, that's right.
Right,
so,
yeah.
He's not taking the checkered flag quite yet. So no change in the top then since Alessi let Sebastian Ash by very wisely. He's in contact with his pits. They'll be telling him all the permutations. Say, no, you got fine. You, as long as you're in the top 10, you will be champion. And he will be well aware what happened to Maxi Buch, because of course he was in the pits still waiting to get in the car when they saw all that on the television screens. And you just do have to feel, don't you, for Buch and Gotts. Such a long season, and then to all come down to an engine failure, such a rare engine failure for any of these cars in the final race.
No, they are built to last, but these things do happen, Mark. It's racing, the cars are stressed to a point, and just like a driver makes mistakes, just like you can make a mistake in a pit stop, things like that, sometimes mechanical issues do happen, and unfortunately for Maxi Buch and Maximilian Gotts, it's proved terrible for their championship today. But the Ford GT40 coming across the line, it's going to take a double win this weekend, with Rene Rast in the Audi closely followed, and the other Audi, the other Prosper Audi, closely followed by that as well. We're just waiting now to see the champions-elect just entering the stadium section. Diego Alessi, he could pop the clutch in now and roll to the finish. What an emotional roller coaster of a day they've had. The car was turned around on the first lap of the race. It dropped to dead last, and they're going to finish 6th to take the 2013.
They are champions, and as we said, in front of Reed Calloway, who came all the way from California for this, and in front of the president of Chevrolet Europe. They pulled it off, and next year that'll be number 1, not number 2, that they'll be carrying if they continue at the ADAC GT Masters. But let's not overlook Frank Keckler. What a great job he's done this year. 3 wins for that Ford, and another 2 podium finishes as well. And 2 of those wins coming, as we said, with not with Nico Verdonk, who he won at Spa earlier in the year, but with Dominic Schwager. So what a great afternoon, and huge emotion there for Daniel Kielwitz. What a good job he did. Driver of the race for me this weekend.
Certainly was, and I'll tell you what, Maxi Buch showing his class there as well. Coming up straight away to congratulate Daniel Kielwitz after what has turned out to be a trying afternoon for the 20-year-old.
Yeah, that was very notable, wasn't it? Yes, that was very gentlemanly. So well done, Daniel and Diego, the 2 Ds. And well, they've worked hard for this. They came here last year leading the championship. They lost it, finished 2nd, which is why they're number 2. This year they came here leading the championship, and they've won it. So there we go, look at that, so close at the top, just 5 points. And Robert Renauer, what a great job he did. I think he had only 1 win the whole year and still managed to finish just 5 points behind the Corvette drivers who had 5 wins.
They didn't. It's a close top 7 in the championship. Very close indeed.
So yeah, A lot of happy people, and they will be partying tonight here in the paddock at Hockenheim. And just remember Christina Nilsson as well, winning again today. So Christina taking 5 wins this year in the Gentleman Trophy. I mean, don't discount that. It's an important trophy for young drivers. She came up again through the ADAC ladder, just like Maxi Book did, and she's shown her mettle.
Bit of champagne going to be going on now. And they're going to certainly have sore heads tomorrow morning, aren't they?
Yeah, yes indeed. So there's Diego, you say the lawyer from Perugia in Italy. Takes off his body belt. 41 years old. So the German anthem rings out, and that brings to the end our season, Stuart. Quick summing up of it.
It's been fantastic. I wish I'd been around to commentate on a few more, but I've been very luckily busy.
Good. So all the best this weekend at Paul Ricard and for the rest of the World Endurance Championships. Stuart Hall, Mark Coe, goodbye from Hockenheim.